The views expressed on this show do not represent those of NTV or its staff.
You are welcome to NTV People's Parliament, reconvening here in Kampala, still to discuss a very important issue that affects teachers in this country. As you are aware, last week we discussed this issue. You heard from the teachers, they were spitting fire, government is giving its defense, and now we have come back to discuss the solution and the way forward on how we can improve the quality of education in this country. I am Agnes Nandutu, the Speaker of this Parliament. Yes, honorable members, as you were aware last week, we couldn't finish this topic because it is wide and we couldn't finish in one day. But as you are aware, I have very aged people here who knew how the education system was back in the 60s. Everybody desired to be a teacher. Every person who sat S4 wanted to go for teaching. That one who sat S6 wanted to go for teaching. The one who was going to university wanted to go for teaching because this is a field that they respected. But now teachers are running away from teaching. Those who are already professionals are running away. Those who want to just say, I cannot go for teaching. If I go for teaching, I will be poor for the rest of my life. What has gone wrong? Mr. Baguma, what has gone wrong?
Thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members. There is a saying that when you see a frog jumping on land during the day, you automatically know there is something pushing it out of water. When you look at the education system in this country,
what is pushing the teachers out of the profession?
Obviously, the PRO of Ministry of Education and Sports, we must thank him for being a good PRO. And that is one of the hardest jobs you can do. He's aware.
But especially speaking when teachers are spitting fire.
He's aware his ministry conducted a research. And what came out was that about 84% of the teachers in this country would be ready to go if they were given their package. What does this translate to the citizens of this country? Amidst a number of challenges we are looking at, there are so many factors that are pushing the teachers out of the profession, to the extent that even those who have not gone are thinking of going, and therefore they are squatters in the profession. Madam Speaker, when we talk of quality of education, we normally, and Ugandans normally tend to think that the learning outcomes are entirely and solely in the hands of the teacher.
What were the teachers getting in the past that they are not getting now?
Madam Speaker and honorable members, we have been talking about motivation. It is true, motivation is not all about money or in monetary terms. We have intrinsic motivation and we have extrinsic motivation. The way honorable members are here in this house, each of them can be motivated differently. There is one you will say, good morning, and it will make a day for this person. There is one you will say, thank you, and it will make a day. There is one you will give the hardest task, and that will motivate the member. And therefore, what has failed in the system, in our Ugandan education system, is a lack of motivation. It is a very big factor. Madam Speaker, you will find a teacher who has taught for 20 years or more, but is still getting the minimum pay. Madam Speaker and honorable members, you will find a teacher who qualified as a grade 5 teacher, has labored to upgrade on his or her own resources.
So you think government
and is a graduate teacher.
So Mr. Baguma, do you think government should put in place a scheme to facilitate teachers' further education?
Obviously, the teachers need refresher courses, as it used to be, but today it is absent. And therefore, government tends to think that whenever there is a reform in place, the teachers must implement the reform because they were taught to teach. This is why today we cannot talk of Swahili. And it was brought, it was put on the curriculum, teachers were taken, trained for 2 weeks. But how do you train someone who cannot greet in a language and you take him or her for 2 weeks and say, here you are, go and implement?
Okay, thank you.
Now, you will find that even when we talk of quality, when we talk of education, education does not take place in school alone, Madam Speaker and honorable members. It starts from home, it goes to the community, and it goes to the school.
Okay, honorable member, I will give you another opportunity. Thank you so much. Yes, from Ministry of Education.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker and honorable members.
You see, he has raised a very pertinent issue. There is need for human resource development.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, as Ministry of Education, I can advise that there is a whole department responsible for that in the Ministry of Public Service, and they're aware of this. I cannot really speak on their behalf, but what I do know is that this is something that government knows is very important. And I want to particularly address the issue that was brought up by one member seated next to and what the boss of UNATU has said, one of the leaders in UNATU, about teachers going and studying, getting a diploma from certificate, graduate, and no pay change is occurring. In the past, the explanation that was given to teachers was the fact that the salaries are paid according to available places. If there is no position for someone to fill, the salary of that person remains the same, even if they get a PhD, a master's, or a degree. But right now, what has been happening, what government has done, is to put in place a plan to operationalize the teacher's scheme of service, which I talked about earlier. So that later on, when a teacher graduates, obtains a diploma or a degree, eventually that teacher grows in rank and also grows in pay.
What do you want to clarify on?
Madam Speaker, a grade 3 teacher in primary, the minimum entry point is 408,135. That is someone who has qualified, is appointed, and is joining the service. Now, the maximum pay within that scale U7 upper is 467,135. Here is a teacher who has taught for 20 years but is still getting 408,185. That is what I meant. Then on upgrading, I do appreciate that when there is a vacancy, that's when they will employ. But here is a policy that grade 5 teachers are supposed to teach O level. Graduates are supposed to teach A level. I am a grade 5 teacher. I go and upgrade and become a graduate. On coming, there is nobody to teach A level. The head teacher assigns me to teach A level because I am a graduate, but they continue paying me as a grade 5 teacher. That is total cheating by government.
Thank you, honorable member. Yes, Muzei, I can see you are a very experienced civil servant. What should be a way forward?
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable James Juko. I represent Kampala. Now, we have heard about what should be, but the problem is not being practical. We are thinking about staff accommodation because we joined teaching for it was a noble job. Everybody knew about it. But now if you ask the question whether teaching is a noble job anymore, my son told me he can't join teaching. But I drive, but I have a house. Why? Everywhere outside, people know teachers are very poor. You remember one night, on Saturday, there is a TV program where girls who have failed to have men the normal way do advertise themselves.
Mr. Mwenda, from the Ministry of Education, have you heard the people you are leading as the Ministry of Education? Your teachers are very poor. They can't even afford to take their children to a good school. Isn't that a miserable situation?
And now, this girl said, my number is this, but border people and teachers don't bother. Madam Speaker, I got so worried about our young teachers because I'm already married to a very beautiful wife. But then I said, what about those who are not yet married? What are we saying?
Who are not yet married,
yeah,
they will not get wives.
I'm very worried. So this is what you want to do. Let us be practicable. What Uganda is doing, they are biting off more than they can chew. We are not yet that country that can offer everything free of charge. They tried to do that for toilets in Kampala. They became very dirty. They put there a little money. Toilets are now clean. Let us go cost sharing.
You want cost sharing in primary education?
Oh yes, oh yes.
In universal primary education?
Oh yes, I have the experience.
You agree with that, teachers?
Yes. I have the experience because I had a UPE school. They fail to pay very little money when they're still at primary. As soon as they pass, you see them with sweaters, full uniform, and they're coming back for the pass slip because they're preparing to do O-level. And I say, you the orphan? You mean you have reached O-level? Where did you go? And they tell me, how much have you been paying a term? And they tell me 200, 300, but they were failing to pay the 10,400. It's all about the mind. They are being told they can't do it. They are poor. They're not supposed to do anything. But much later, why are they able to meet it? What are we saying? It must not be exorbitant, but it can be something agreeable too. We are talking about staff accommodation. We have also moved abroad, ladies and gentlemen, and we have seen how other teachers are treated. They have not the best salary, but good enough for the teacher to go to the bank and have a mortgage and build their own houses. But in Uganda, if you wanted to use 38, remember, it must be half. So you can have the remaining half to feed your people. But for about, is that 190? About 190.
Okay, Honorable Member.
Maybe I can end with this. As teachers, we need to unite. For Kampala, we're thinking about KTB. But I think we should begin thinking about UTB. What is KTB? Kampala Teachers Bank. But why don't we think about Uganda Teachers Bank? And secondly, for government.
Probably that money would have gone in your bank.
This is what we are saying.
25 billion shillings.
This is what we are saying. And also on the part of government. How much and for how long must teachers volunteer?
As government gives that little salary for the teachers, what can you do as a teacher to improve your livelihood? What can you do as a teacher?
putting myself into that environment without government helping me will not work out. First of all, it is government to create an environment that is conducive for me to have a house. So if it is paying me little salary, let it look for something like top up in terms of material. If police is being given iron sheets for building, besides my salary, let them create that. Put iron sheets somewhere, cheap cement for a teacher to build a house. Just because we don't have houses where to sleep, we are sleeping at school, we are showing how poor we are feeding. The children have ranked us so low, and the communities have ranked us so low to the extent of saying a teacher is named with that, is associated with that airtime for 500 shillings. In the communities, they are saying, give me a teacher, to mean a 500 airtime. And they are saying, he has built, or she has built, a teacher, that house which is one-sided roofed house. So it is the work of government to uplift a teacher's status in the way they address the teachers' issues, in the way that they talk about the teachers. It is government that has ranked us so low that even the communities have got for us names. It is the teacher to talk of quality, because the teacher knows what quality is. It is also rank these students. Could we fail to know what quality is? We know what it is. But it is the government, that it is the environment that is not conducive that is pulling us to that extent. If government created a conducive environment, the cry of quality would not be around.
Okay, Honorable Member. Yes, thank you. I think you have heard the solution is that teachers are moving for government to look at. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we shall hear for more solutions from teachers as well as government. Yes, welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, discussing whether government is doing enough to address the welfare of teachers in this country. And as we move forward, what are the solutions? What can government do to improve the welfare of teachers? Honorable Member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Florence Mabale. You know, in Kampala, it's a challenge. We are teaching and things are moving on. But after that, we have other things we are doing as a side income, as they tell us. You have retail shops, you are keeping poultry, and they tend to take much of our time. Instead of concentrating and you do your instructional materials, you organize something to improve on the learning processes, you work on your classroom environment, you are very busy making budgets, how you're going to get feeds for your poultry, how you're going to get extra money to buy maybe a bale of clothes to put in your shop.
So it affects the quality of education you are giving to your schools.
Also compare us with other teachers from neighbors, Kenya, Tanzania. What about them? What are they getting? They are getting better, they are getting medical care, transport allowance. If they improve on that, I think we shall also move a step.
Teachers are left to work until 6. You disappear, job will go. Now, how will I look when I'm given a meager salary? I have to work from morning up to evening, be there, don't miss. Now you tell us teachers do other businesses. At what time and when and where? because even these days, other jobs are being scrapped off. Now, with that mega pay, I'm suggesting the government, let it go back and empower PTAs. Look at the school. Because government is saying it's doing great job. Look at Buganda Road, for instance, I'm a teacher there. Look at those of Nakaseros and where. Those schools are faded because the government is not doing what it's supposed to do. And I'm saying the government is doing some good work. But if it has failed, what should we do? We are saying, government, thank you for the little or the much, but we are also saying, government, come up, sit with the stakeholders, give them the power, the mandate. You will see even this absenteeism will appear, will disappear. I mean, if I'm paid comfortably, the living wage is very, very heavy, why shouldn't I teach, Madam Speaker? But the problem is mega payment, and secondly, graduate teachers. People say, we want quality education. Quality education, but you are not even increasing my, for example, I'm a graduate. But I'm getting 400. I have 5 children and a Nalungu. Now, how will I look at the 5 children with the mega pay and I want my child to go in a better school?
Thank you, Honorable Teacher, for that important forward. Empowering PTAs. Yes, Honorable Member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Members, promotion used to be on appraisal, but not inviting application letters for applications for promotion. These days, what is done, a teacher who graduated last year or yesterday can come and apply because she or he is known to somebody. He is given promotion, a senior education assistant or senior tutor, principal tutor, deputy, whatever. But somebody who has been teaching for over 30 years is left at that. No appraisal, no nothing. Secondly, the Ministry of Education has always sung about provision of instructional materials. Last year, I was telling the speaker, I sent you a note, that last year, primary schools received the textbooks, English textbooks, only 3-4 textbooks per school. And the government is talking about improvement of quality. How will the teacher use these 3 books for 100 or so pupils? So, ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, we want to urge the government, 1, improve on the teacher's scheme of service, implement it accordingly, and provide adequate instructional materials. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you. You have the floor, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Mugabi Gilbert from Banda, and representing a fraternity of students that raised almost 6 million of this country. Now, the government is facing a tragedy of teachers' absenteeism in the schools. My information or communication to my boss is that let it wait for the war or the challenge when even the pupils and the students are absent. And that is the next stage. Because when they're not satisfied in whatever they're getting from the teachers, they'll not come. And I think that will cause more impact. We are speaking on behalf of the students, pupils, because of one thing. The government is a body. And these are our parents. They nurture us. They groom us. Last term, a teacher was fired from the school because of stealing a bag of posho. This is not
Which
a laughing
school was
subject.
that?
Jambogo College School. A bag of posho. And you have nothing to do. You will not go and cry for the students to.
Then you steal.
Of course, definitely. I'm not saying they steal, but that is the kind of stage that our teachers are at.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, fellow members of People's Parliament. I'm a member of Parliament representing Bwayise Ghetto, Chimombasa specifically. And by names of Sarongo Kamogamu Takwana. The reason why I wanted to say something on the motion is that we, in the ghetto areas, we are the one benefiting in universal primary education. I think the government should review the salary scale for all of the workers. Why? Because in our ghetto, our area councillor is earning 3 million per month, who was not even asked for qualifications when was contesting. So I think they need
3
to
million
review.
per month for a councillor?
Yeah, per month, definitely, yeah. Even a P7 qualified person can go and compete and get 3 million per month. Secondly, I think the government should establish poverty eradication projects specifically targeting teachers. And the third solution is that the government should prioritize issues such that it brings education and health on front and brings security at the back. We spend a lot of money on security equipment, and yet the teachers are crying.
Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we are going to hear more from the parents and from more teachers. Yes, welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, discussing whether government is doing enough to address the welfare of teachers in this country.
As the teachers, that the government-teacher ratio is 1 teacher to 53 children or pupils.
53?
Yes.
I went in Zombo and I found 200 children.
This is what we are
the
saying.
class.
That's by government. But in the other schools, say like school in urban areas, could be 1 to 114. But you are saying, can we lower for quality education, lower it to 1 teacher to 25 pupils in a class?
That's by recruiting more teachers.
That is the resolution you are giving on that. Accommodation, Madam Speaker. Let there be a grant put aside for the teachers to have good houses. If there isn't any, let there be an allowance to the teacher as accommodation allowance, other than having consolidated salary.
Okay.
If I had powers and I was the Minister of Finance, I would lower a lowest paid teacher 1,200,000 per month. Let our colleagues outside there be given opportunity to upgrade. And let the government come out with a scheme, say, in this year, we want to take out about 100 teachers to upgrade. But you find that the upgrading that teachers are doing, they're doing it on their own pockets.
Okay.
I beg to submit.
Thank you, Honorable Teacher. I think you have seen the solution. Thank you. Yes.
Francis Mwirishe is my name. I come from Muhweju. Teachers also must stop treating only symptoms. When it comes to time for elections, you must look at leaders that are in for you. You must vote for leaders who know your interests. There was a time when a candidate talked about giving you 500,000 shillings per month, and he was ridiculed, he was not supported, and you said it was too much money. Some teachers were against him. Now you're asking for 500. So I am saying, Madam Speaker, that whether it is a councillor, whether it is a president, whether it is a member of parliament,
who is giving clarification? Who is giving clarification? Please. Go ahead, go ahead.
So when it comes to elections, please vote for leaders that know your interests best. Okay. And finally, the government must also discipline its people that have been harassing teachers. I saw that an RDC, Deputy RDC, was arresting teachers in Kabari. And there is a government, and the government says they love teachers, and they like you, and the RDC is harassing teachers, and nothing is happening. The government should go and arrest that RDC. Okay. I thank you.
Thank you, yes.
Thank you.
Mzee, forward in 1 minute.
Yes, one. I wish the people who look at the teacher could feel that a teacher is one of them. Is made in the same substance like them. Some of them have never reached the school since they left the school. And they talk about schools. Some have the double cabins, but they only bypass. If they happen to reach the school, they only reach the head teacher's office and end there and go. Can't we review the teacher's manifesto and see what to do? 2016, what can the teachers do? It can be the solution.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member. Please come. Yes, you have the podium, Honorable Member.
Yes, my name is Moses Ngorok. I come from Napak district. That's possibly the district that performs worst in every PLE, every PLE when the results come out. So well, so I think in that state I have a ground to talk about education.
Yes, I will forward.
Yeah, now I see the government borrowing money from the World Bank, from the International Monetary Fund to construct roads, borrowing money now from China to construct roads. Now, if education is the pivot, someone earlier on said it's the fulcrum of our society, then why not borrow money first for education before you think about roads? Or jets for that state. People have said, you know, jets when we have no war. Of course, it's important to note that the other sectors of the government are important, but if education is the key, for me, what I see is a time bomb. I see half-baked students, and later on we shall see half-baked leaders, and then we shall continue propagating. It will be a continuous cycle and vicious cycle.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 20 years to come, our children we are educating today may not have a job anywhere. Remember, we have East African community. You remember, our children are to move all over the world and acquire jobs. But the quality we are talking about, if it is not properly implemented, we shall never gain.
Okay.
What do we do then? Number one, Madam, you have steered up the house so well because you are very healthy. But the teacher who is getting 340 will never work hard in a class when he's sickly. Health insurance must be implemented for every teacher, whether it's nursery teacher, whether a university teacher, that is able to cater adequately for his health and deliver.
Okay, thank you.
Number two, up-country schools. We are talking about Kampala. How about my brother in Noya? How about my brother in Kitgum? How about that one in Kalangala?
In Bududa.
When the government has to improvise by giving tractors in sub-counties to cater for the teachers, and they have subsidized ways of agriculture because Uganda's backbone is agriculture.
Thank you for those very important solutions.
Norbert Agola is my name.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Minister. I started teaching in 1962. So what I'm going to say at least will give some vision.
Yes.
I start with the motto of UNATU. The nation is, because we are, the nation is. Have you ever thought about that saying? Because we are, the nation is. In 1962, let me tell you, we were people, teachers of the day. We were looked at as the only educated group in the country. The only...
The teachers?
Of course. The only rich people
that
in the country.
That is in the 60s.
Yes. 62 upwards.
60s, yeah.
Numbers don't lie. You have the numbers. I want to give you examples of countries where people like you have come up. The current leadership in Brazil were laborers. Labor unions demanded from governments to give them what they deserve. When they failed, they looked at their numbers and organized and took charge. The reason why we have the Labour Party in the UK was because of what? Workers. You must not beg, you must demand.
Way forward, please.
Way forward. My way forward is that plus the code of conduct, Madam Speaker, of the teachers, actually matters that manage the teachers, are actually decided by people who are not teachers. That's the most hurting thing. It is high time, I have heard you people say you fear talk politics. By definition, politics is the science of governing society. You must be in there to determine your destiny. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member. Can I have the chairperson to wind up as we wind up from government, please? You have heard the teachers have spoken. They have laid out the way forward on what government should do. Have your say from government, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and all the honorable members present. I would first and foremost like to use this opportunity to appreciate all the honorable members here, all the teachers of this country, for all the solutions that have been put forward. I have been taking note of many of these, and the ones that can be received by Ministry of Education and effected will be. You can be sure I'm going to pass those on. And I believe that since this is a public domain, the rest of the issues that are supposed to be received in different fora are also going to be received. Finally, I would like to say that the situation has been a really complex one. We've been hearing people asking for prioritization, security, over education, over this and the other. I just want to highlight the fact that this is a very complex thing. It's not very straightforward. It's not as easy as flicking a switch, in my opinion.
The quality of education should be taken seriously by any citizen, every citizen of this country, whether politicians or not politicians. The quality, we are not just interested in the numbers, how many are at school, but we are looking at the learning outcome. We have people who come from the universities and cannot even write an application letter. If that's where we want to go, the government should motivate the teachers to do the needful. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. You have been watching NTV People's Parliament, and I think government you have had, Minister of Education you have had, Minister of Finance you have had, and I'm sure the head of state. You are listening to People's Parliament. And with the powers conferred upon me as the Speaker of this Parliament, I adjourn this House until next Saturday. Thank you.
The views expressed on this show do not represent those of NTV or its staff.